27 minutes past the hour of 9 o'clock. Some of you are right now in your motor vehicles. Yes. You're probably contemplating where to go and buy fuel now, maybe 900 or 950. Oh, last week I got to pass through a petrol station, an NNPC petrol station that they were selling for, was it 600 or something, or 5, 6 something? There was a queue where it was really pretty intense. But that's the only one that I saw that particular day. Last night I heard some people were buying for 900, 920, 890. Somebody even said even 1,000. I'm not surprised. But whilst the fuel in the vehicle is important, let's not forget that the driving is important. Last week, I got to witness the accident that made it to the news just close to us, talking about where we have the timber area, at the Keke stop, right? Mercedes SUV just ran into somebody, boom, 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 boom. Now, I don't know what led to the accident, but it happened. When they travel, are there safety protocols to be observed? Yes. Number one, I have to admit, is that many of these businesses that are on the road are too close to the road. Yes, we know the vulcanizer needs to be there so you can see him, but does it need to be at the shoulder of the road? Shouldn't it be further away? There are so many advisories that we have had and we keep getting to hear. We'll probably play one at the end of this program. But my question is, are you really taking these advisories seriously? What needs to be done? Kurt is on the line. He's speaking to us from Choba. Kurt, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, Jude.
Good morning. Welcome, please.
Yeah. All the accidents that happen on our road, majority of them is of teaching ears that we don't want to hear another instruction. This is a vehicle who has capacity of carrying 2 passengers. You went ahead and carry more 3 out of it. The vehicle is already in accident state. There is nothing you can do about it. The driver using a phone call, using one hand driving, using one phone on the hand, the vehicle is already in accident state. Because anything can happen. Your tire is making noise, your drum boys is making noise. So that you manage it for 3 weeks. It's already in accident state. So because any present mistake, the team may pull off and end up hitting somebody. Any present mistake, you are driving one hand, you may not cut through. You went and hit somebody. Overloading can also cause it. So all of us is guilty of all these things. When we start to minimize them, we will have less accidents in our road. That's what I think. Thank you.
All right, Kurt, thank you very much. Well, Kurt says it falls on deaf ears. People are not doing what they need to do. What tell you?
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeriainfo FM. Nigeriainfo, let's talk.
Well, Emeka is on Ada George Road. Emeka, good morning to you, please.
Good morning, Jude.
Good morning. Welcome.
Thank you. Growing up, I used to ask my dad, we'll be on the road commuting, and you will see the road safety on the road, always having these issues with drivers and all. You see them asking drivers to pay an amount of money for disobeying the traffic rule and stuff. I will always ask my dad, is the federal legislature for a revenue generating agency for the federal government? Are they there to generate revenue or to make sure we have safer roads? Because it seems more like they are in for generating funds, in for making money, either for themselves or for the federal government, and not doing the core of their job. Because I believe if they really get these drivers who are wrong, let's leave the money. Yes, they can pay a fine, but just like Mr. Valen said, community service have stringent punishment. Like, you're doing this wrongly, look at what you're getting as your punishment. I think it will curb a whole lot of these accidents and these road disabilities. They should focus more on doing their job of getting the road safe than generating revenues, and it doesn't make sense for me. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. It says they should focus on doing that job itself, generating revenue from people. But that's the thing. One of the suggestions made several years ago, and this is enforcement all over the world, is punitive measures for people who do not follow the rules. For example, did you know that if you were to jump the lights, particularly red lights, in countries where automation is pretty high, you get a call, you get a summons, they'll send you a ticket, and if you don't pay, they send you a summons. Hey, you appear before a magistrate to explain why you cut the red light and why you haven't paid your fine. And sometimes if you are lucky, you can pay the fine. Sometimes if you're not only would you pay the fine, but you probably do some community service. Maybe that's where we should go to. In fact, I am of the opinion, and please don't take this as a word now. I'm of the opinion that rather a good way to challenge the corruption that happens on the streets of Port Harcourt when people fall foul, when they drop the light and they say, oh, you have parked wrongly, is rather than, saying we'll give you guys 20,000 naira fine. Just, Oga, madam, now you cut, no, just park your car, give the person broom and dustpan, let him sweep, and then post it on social media. Today, we just saw Mr. Wale Afolabi Ekumeku and his sons sweeping the road. That's my honest. I don't know. Gentle speaking to us from Rukpoko. Gentle, good morning to you.
Good morning, Jude.
Good morning.
The federal road safety we're talking about, I can recall that when I'm traveling to Lagos by road, the most places I'll see them is when I'm traveling long journeys. For example, when I get to Asaba, when I get to Delta State, there's a kind of deserted part of the road that there are not much houses there. That's where you see road safety. And if I go further a bit, maybe when I get to Ore, before those filling stations that we have to wait, that's another place to see road safety. Assuming road safety, they're effective, their duties, and they are much on these mobile roads, on these roads that are buses, are keke buses, are big buses, are taxis, are flying. Assuming they are effective and they are doing what they are meant to do on this road, I believe that the accidents that we're recording on this road will be very less.
But Gentle, what about the drivers? And I'm sure you've seen them, whether it's the keke riders or the bus drivers or the taxi drivers. You've seen how some of them are actually very reckless on the road. Some of them don't even know that there are certain demarcations you shouldn't cross. Whose fault is that?
That is what I'm saying. That assuming the federal safety on the road, for example, as Muriel said, if you have mind to open mouth inside bus and tell driver that driver no overtake, tanker dey your front, the next thing you start hearing, you will not want to talk again. They know what they are doing. They always speak correctly. They don't want to take correction, and they do very reckless, careless, and immoral things.
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
Gentle. Oh, he has some strong words for some of his drivers. WhatsApp now 0809-030-6416 0809-030-6416. All right, that's where you find us on WhatsApp and Telegram. Please, that last number I read out, don't call that number. Just send us a message. All right. Ebolemon. Who's this from? Text, wow, yeah, text having a swipe at me, yeah, fine, no problem, I agree. Good morning to you too, Jude. I'm tempted to believe it's a black man thing, not just Nigeria, River State people. I think when it comes to warning or advisories generated from scientific data, the black man takes the seeing is believing approach. I mean, see the River Niger floods. We know it's coming. NIMET has warned us, but we have taken adequate steps to mitigate the damage? No. But when it's time to do with spiritualism, and then they warn me about a wicked uncle, we are like believing is seen. We take every possible cautionary measure. Don't drink and drive. People are like, my brother is always high while driving. Nothing has ever happened to him on the road. I beg, leave that thing. Nothing they happen. Then the person dies and we blame the wicked uncle or the person he's dragging a position with at the office. Text from Oyigbo. Davidson is in Igrita. Davidson, good morning to you, please.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, Davidson.
Yes, talking about accidents. Sorry, my radio.
Yes, please. I was going to ask you to please. Thank you very much, please.
Okay, yes, talking about accidents. See, I think road safety for me is really trying a little bit. Even though everything about Nigeria is always on the other side. If you know what I mean, what I stand to gain. You understand? But I think we, the good users, just like you rightly mentioned, to those of us that do businesses on the road, I think some of us are the cause of some of these accidents. Now, there are some, just like you mentioned a while ago, there are some junctions you will get to. It's all built up with people selling things. You can't even see what is going on the other side of the road. So these things are not good. And then, like my sister Muriel said, most times when you try to caution these people, it's as if you are against them. The way they talk, as if, in fact, Nigeria is just one place that I just don't understand what is wrong with our reasoning most times. If I have to put it that way, because everybody is right in whatever wrong they are doing. You understand? Everybody is right on whatever wrong that they are doing. Like in my area here, most times when it rains and everywhere is wet, you see this pedestrians walkway. That is where Okada people will be running on. And then when you tell them this is not meant for you, go down on the road, whether flooded or not flooded, they will pick offense. Tell me, am I wrong for telling the Okada man to go down on the pedestrians walkway? So you see, that is the problem. That is just the problem. Everybody has an opinion, so that they are wrong. And nobody wants to listen. I mean, these are some of the causes of accidents.
Nobody wants to listen. Davidson says nobody wants to listen. Facebook, let's get to Facebook and on X at Nigeriainfo. PH at Nigeriainfo. PH, all right, is where you'll find us on Facebook and on X at Nigeriainfo. PH, Facebook and X. The question asks, are safety advisories taken seriously in this state? If they were, or if they are, what then is the reason why we're getting to see a lot more accidents? Please, let's have a holistic conversation here, because it may not just be that people are not taking the advisories. There could be other issues that could be at play here. Something definitely doesn't quite seem right? Particularly in the past 3 weeks, right? Something might not just be right. But hey, what do I know? That's why I'm asking you the questions. 0817-923-0002. 0817-923-0007. Jude, good morning. You see Nigerian drivers, especially taxi services and keke, those guys don't even know that they are speed. They are always in a hurry. Justice says. Maybe that's a general statement. Maybe one could even say maybe an over exaggeration, or maybe just, is it an exaggeration or an over exaggeration? I'm not quite sure. But yes, I get what Justice is saying. There are a lot of times you see on the roads, you're wondering, where are you? What's the rush? What's the emergency? Why are you doing things this way? All right, we have Chukuma. Chukuma sending me a message. Let's quickly read Chukuma. Chukuma says, hi, G, good morning. You see, a lot of times people forget that the mind is also a battleground when it comes to safety. There are some people who are driving, they're thinking of children's school fees. Some people have even gotten their hearts broken and they're on the steering. And little wonder when some people hit their cars, they calm down and then they transfer a lot of aggression to those around them. These accidents, whilst many are caused by the safety inadequacies of some of the drivers, sometimes the emotional stability has to be questioned. The emotional stability has to be questioned. I think he has a point. I honestly think he has a point. You see, years ago, I would say this was 2024, right? I'd say about 10 or 11 years ago, I had this very bad breakup. My heart was shattered to pieces and pieces. And then I had to drive my auntie somewhere. There was no one in the house. So, hey, come here. You know, when you have a house where you have all boys, you know, everybody's a driver, everybody. And then I was driving. And then she said, but you know, we've passed the market. I was literally going to Warri. We're just meant to go to Choba Market. But, boom, as I go onto the road, boom, I just started going. I was like, where we going? This market, oh. Turn. Where you carry us go? See where we are going to. And like, oh, I'm sorry. So maybe the I don't know. This has actually struck a nerve. It really has. The emotional state of some of these drivers. And sadly, I don't know if there's any test that we can actually have, you know, to validate or even to promote healthy driving. I'm thinking right now. Anyway, 017-923-0002. All right, join the conversation, please. 017-923-0002. 017-923-0002. WhatsApp is 0809-030-6416. 0809-030-6416. All right, at Nigeriainfo PH, at Nigeriainfo PH is where you'll find us on Facebook and on X at Nigeriainfo PH, at Nigeriainfo PH. So another message here says, good morning. Everybody keeps talking about the road safety and not doing their jobs. What about the government not even making the roads pliable for most people? Many of the accidents, let's be honest, are the fault of the government. End of story. If this was a working society, several governors, several ministers should have either been sacked or been in prison right now. There is no justification for the roads to be bad for extended periods of time. Why won't accidents occur? Why won't several cars go bad? Do you know how much it is to change bushings these days? Do you know how much it is to change people's social absorbers? When people are driving and they don't have good quality cars on the road, no thanks to this very bad government, what do you expect? Accidents. It's nobody's fault but the government. I blame the government. Nobody's fault but the government. Okay, all right. Now we've jumped into this puddle, right? We've jumped into this puddle. Is the government's fault? I agree. They have a good chunk of responsibility talking about fixing the roads. Imagine, okay, some of you who are listening to us, you've obviously driven in Abuja, right? You know that within the Abuja metropolis, I'm not talking about the satellite towns, but you know the main city itself, there are lots of great roads. The chances of you, in fact, you know, driving from Abuja to Kaduna used to be one of my favorite pastimes, you know, years ago. It was a brilliant drive. So you have people who were, back in those days anyway, who would be in Abuja, right, who have cars in Abuja for nearly 3-4 years. They've not changed their suspensions. They've not changed the bushings or cambers. They've not changed their shaft. It's not like where we are in Port Harcourt in the Niger Delta, where changing shaft is our second hobby. They don't do that. So yeah, maybe this actually, I think there's some credence to this. Oyedikachi says, Good morning. Psychological factors have to be considered here. Abstract feelings like too much joy, happiness, grief, tiredness, sorrow, etc. can lead to accidents. It's only a person who is psychologically stable who will remember to obey safety rules. The mind and psychology of a driver determines how he, and I have to add this, or she drives. The psychological factor has to be considered. It just has to be. And yeah, kudos to the person sending us that message earlier. I think it has to be. You know, when someone is happy, they've not paid him salary, for example, how's he going to drive? Or they just paid him salary, how does he drive? You know, you're excited, and I think this. I'm no psychologist, but I think there's some truth in this. You know, when you just get that big pay, when you just get that salary, or maybe you just sold one huge chunk of your product. Maybe you sell clothes, and somebody just came and just bought like one bale or something. You'll be excited. And you be, and sometimes in that excitement, you may be careless. You may just be careless. So maybe that's why we're having. I don't know about these cases. Unfortunately, I don't know if they are going to give us the reports. We could probably ask, from the investigations to these cases that we've seen in the past 2-3 weeks here in Port Harcourt. The accident here at Rumosi. I heard there was one also in GRA. Was that 1st of August, 2nd of August as well? Well, speaking of GRA, please, before I forget, there is a place inside GRA Phase 2 that is notorious for accidents. My younger brother is coming to my head right now. It's notorious for accidents. And that is the T junction where you have, is that Woji? Is that where Woji meets, Woji Road meets, what's the other road? Tombia, right? So where you have the cinema, where you have the supermarket, where you have the restaurant, right? And where you have the salon, I think it's a beauty shop, right? Those 4 places where they meet, that junction is notorious for accidents. So please, there are several advisories, all right? It's raining now. That particular place, because I think I don't know if they've removed it. Did I see it yesterday? There's a traffic warden's stand where the warden can stay and then control traffic. That particular point, I have witnessed at least 3 accidents there. And I asked, the last time I was there earlier this month, I asked, and they said there's almost no week that T junction does not experience a GBOA, a collision. And I'm curious, why do people not take the safety measures? If you get to the junction, right, just slow down. Just slow down. In fact, for the sake of this conversation, whether you think you are in the right or not, just slow down when you get to that T junction. Just slow down. Whether you are coming in, from Tombia, whether you're trying to leave Tombia, as you get to the junction, please, I'm very pleased I just remembered this. Slow down. Just slow down. Whether it's at 12 midnight, just slow down. Please. That junction is very, very popular. No, popular is the wrong word. Notorious. Notorious. How do you explain the frequency of accidents at that junction? I'm sure as I'm talking now, some people are probably driving there and probably thinking, maybe I should be. Please, just be careful. Once you get to that T junction, slow down. Whether it's your right of way or not, slow down. Please. WhatsApp 009-030-6416. 009-030-6416. 6. We're talking about accidents. Let's not forget that some of these officials, some of the policemen are also primary causes of accidents. Apart from the fact that they drive against traffic, what people call one way, right? They're very reckless. Whether they're carrying money or not, they hit people. Is that not an accident? Who gets to pay? I'm still yet to find a situation where people will hold the police responsible for causing an accident. You know what? Maybe we should get a lawyer on that particular one. Thank you very much. That's from AJ. Thank you very much. That's EJE, AJ. Is that for AJ, man? Because I know an AJ, man. Anyway, we need to get a lawyer on that one. So if the police cause an accident whilst maybe, like say, moving a bullion van, or they're escorting some principal, whatever, they're escorting who now? A VC or some important personality, commissioner or whatnot, senator or whatnot. If they cause an accident, can they be prosecuted? I need to ask. Jude, did you see the accident at Larita Junction yesterday afternoon? The SUV just ran into Larita building. A young man was badly injured. He was bleeding profusely elsewhere. You see? I didn't get to see that yesterday because I went out in the evening. We're talking about accident. One happened yesterday on a Sunday. Please, there are safety advisories. Please.
Not having a bus stop is not an excuse for bad driving or causing accidents. If you are a passenger